guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle with Your Wish Fulfilled, and today, I should say right now, right now, I am actually doing a real-time releasing session on myself, okay? So the importance of this work is to understand that there are a lot of things that are hidden beneath your subconscious awareness, okay? When I mean hidden, like you don't know they're there. They're there, okay? They're in your energetic makeup. They are in your energy field. They are making up your energetic vibe, which our energetic vibe, you guys, is so important. Your energetic vibe is everything. Your energetic vibe is what is helping to create and manifest your everyday experiences, okay? So that's essentially what this work does. It helps to clean out your vibe and then allows you to create the kind of vibe that you want, okay? So when we are doing this work and we're going about every single, just everyday life, you never know when you're going to run into a situation or just something, just even something small might trigger something subconscious, okay? You're going throughout life and all of a sudden you just bump into something or come across something, or maybe something is said or whatever. And then you're just triggered and all of a sudden all this old shit starts popping up. And that's exactly what happened to me last night. I was out with some friends, and actually they were some mutual friends of my ex and I, which I don't normally do. Like, I'm very careful, and this is something that I'm trying to change because people are not indispensable. So, anyone who has, for me personally, if they're good people, then, and I feel that for the most part, we complement each other's lives, then it's, people like that are hard. I don't want to say they're hard to find. That's an assumption. I'm very careful about the assumptions that I'm carrying. Okay. But when there are good people in my life, see, I'm all over the place, you guys. And I'm sorry, this is kind of how my thinking pattern is. Stick with me. Okay. In the past, what I would do before, I was very careful in my past about making friends, like really close friends, with someone who was also friends with whoever I was with at the time. Okay. Because I always had this assumption, like, if something happens, I just don't want anything to do with the ex, whoever the ex might be. Okay. This is kind of like a pattern that I have. I don't normally make really good friends with someone who might be acquaintances or in the friend circle as, whomever I'm with at the time. I'm very careful about doing that, or I was anyway, for this very reason that's coming up right now. So, make a really long story short, I was married. I've been with this man for almost 9 years. It was very toxic. It was toxic from the jump. I was toxic. He was toxic, okay. So I'm not putting all the blame on him. My toxicity and his toxicity fed into each other. Okay. I was toxic and I attracted toxic. So we'll just leave it at that. And that marriage is over. We've been separated for a couple of years. We've been going off and on for maybe the last, during those 2 years, trying to see if we can make it work. And we could have, if I could have put the past to rest, but there was just too many things that happened in our past. There's just too many memories, bad memories associated with our past that I just, I can forgive, but I don't really want to forget. We'll just leave it at that. So anyway, I don't normally keep friends around who are mutual friends with whomever I'm with. And my soon to be ex-husband is no exception to that. Okay. When he and I separated initially, I cleaned out, my friends list of anybody, unless you guys, we had a lot of mutual friends and there was only maybe one or two that I kind of hung on to. But even during this time, my communication with those couple of friends was very limited because I was just like, I don't want to hear anything about him. I don't want to know what he's doing. I don't want to know if you're seeing him with anybody else, all that stuff. Cause I knew that I had a healing process that I had to do. And I was avoiding certain triggers. I wasn't really conscious that I was doing that, but that's exactly why I did it. I was like, I don't want to see pictures of you guys tagged together, you know what I mean? And so it's like, that's kind of how I am. It's like, I don't want any remnants. I'm the person that, you got people who are like fight or flight mode. I'm the flight. I'm like, when things are over, I want zero remnants of you left behind, which in this case is a very, very difficult because we have 3 kids together. So it's like, I already have to deal with him on a regular basis. It's like, I don't, you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to go into too much detail. So anyway, this time around, I've throughout the last couple of years that we have been separated, I've done a lot of releasing, done a lot of healing, put a lot of things to bed regarding him and our past, and just getting myself to a point where I'm allowing that whatever triggers would come up so they could be dealt with, because I'm realizing, I've been realizing that he was triggering things that have been in my energy field way before I ever met him. And I'm realizing that he's basically a mirror reflection of what is going on deep down inside. And so it's been difficult, but I've been allowing myself to be triggered rather than running away from things. I'm like, okay, facing some things. And then I also realized that about, how I would treat our mutual friends, basically just, not really cut off all contact, but I'm like, no, and so I've changed that dynamic with myself. And although I have let go of what make like mutual acquaintances, people that I didn't really personally have a connection with outside of maybe like get-togethers, that we would have or anything like that. If I wasn't texting or calling or having a personal relationship with, these people, then I was just like, okay, there's no really need to keep, all these people. Anyway, I've kept a couple, and I've since started to, what's that word? Revisit those friendships, I guess. Nourish those friendships. Like, I'm seeing these people, there's just a couple of people, okay, and I'm seeing them now on like a weekly basis, okay, and I consider them pretty good friends of mine. They consider me a pretty good friend of theirs, and they are also somewhat pretty good friends with my ex, okay. So there's still some things there that I'm working on internally, and they know, they're very sensitive to the situation, but it doesn't, so anyway, long story short, last night I ended up at, basically a girls' night with me and a mutual friend of my ex, and then another mutual, more like a mutual acquaintance. This other girl was not somebody that, I hadn't seen her basically prior to this in a couple of years. Okay. So she's really a mutual acquaintance, but she's been around my ex and their parties and that friendship group throughout these last couple of years. So obviously she's had experiences, not like romantic experiences with my ex, but she's seen some things. Okay. You know how friend groups are. They'll see things that you may not see or you may not ever know of. You know what I mean? So you kind of get a different perspective of what might be going on behind the scenes, which is exactly why in the past I avoided communication and contact with mutual friends and mutual acquaintances, because I'm like, y'all are about to open up a door I'm not ready to step into. So that happened till, last night. I had a really good friend of mine who's a mutual friend, and then she brought along a mutual acquaintance that I hadn't seen in a couple of years, who runs around in that same friendship circle, who my ex is way more active in than I am, who has been way more active in. And so some things were talked about, some things were mentioned about my ex and maybe what he has been up to that I wasn't really too much aware of. I kind of figured, but I wasn't aware of. And so it brought some stuff up. Okay. It triggered some things. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's why I'm doing this live releasing, to let you guys, to show you guys in real time how this works. Okay. Because you've got your emotions and then you've got your mind. Okay. So right now I'm feeling pretty heavy. And I'm feeling that energy primarily, which is where I feel a lot of my heavy energy comes up for releasing, around my heart and my solar plexus area. And it's just a general heaviness that I'm feeling. And I'll be honest, you guys, I'm not really sure. I can't really pinpoint what I'm feeling. Okay. I've come to learn that you don't have to know exactly what it is you're feeling or why. Okay. It's a feeling, period. And as long as it's a feeling, it can be released. So I'm just going to walk myself through this releasing process in front of you so you can get a feel of what this is like. Okay. Especially when you are in the middle of feeling triggered, which I am. I've been triggered since last night. All right. And this is obviously something that's deeply embedded, because I've been kind of releasing on it since last night. So I'm going to go ahead and just walk through this process with you, so you can kind of see how it works in real time. So right now I'm feeling some type of way. I have a feeling that like I'm feeling misplaced for some reason, as far as like, I have this, I'm like searching for a home for the most part. God. I've been knocked off center. That's what it is. Okay. I've been knocked off center. For the most part, I do pretty well with feeling at home within myself, but this is just showing you guys it's not a perfect journey as far as healing goes. There can be some subconscious things that you're not feeling in your conscious awareness. Okay. Just like thoughts are subconscious, your feelings are subconscious as well. And just because you're not thinking them consciously or feeling them consciously, they still are in your energetic makeup. They are still in your vibe, meaning other people are picking up on those things subconsciously as well. Okay. So if you have, if for the most part you're going through life and you're feeling good, and, you're having these conscious thoughts that, you're feeling like consciously you're feeling confident, consciously you're thinking confident thoughts. You may not even be aware that there is a whole host of things going on regarding your self-confidence, your self-worth beneath your conscious self. Okay. And this is why this work is so important, because whether or not you are even aware of their existence, they are still in your energy. They are still in your vibe, which means you are still manifesting mirror images of those things that you don't want. Okay. So like if what I'm picking up right now is I'm feeling knocked off center. I'm feeling very ungrounded. And I can't really pinpoint if it's a self-worth issue or if it's a self-confidence issue. Maybe it has something to do with both. And the cool thing about this work, you guys, is you don't have to figure it out. In fact, that's one of the things we're going to release on, is wanting to figure it out. Okay. And so when I get in that situation and I can't really pinpoint what it is I'm thinking or what it is I'm feeling, because largely a lot of it is still subconscious, I just focus on releasing the feeling. Okay. Just releasing the feeling. And why, when we do that, we are still releasing the subconscious thoughts that may be attached to it and whatever else we're trying to pinpoint. Okay. So yeah, you don't have to figure it out. So right now, ooh, God, this is potent. So I'm feeling it like right here, like it's coming up. Like first it was kind of like down, and you can't really see. First it was coming up from like my solar plexus, but I can kind of feel it like right here. So it's getting caught right there. So first it's like, can I welcome this feeling? Whatever it is, can I welcome this heaviness? Can I sit and feel through this heaviness and just let it be here for a minute? And I'm just sitting with it. And I am feeling it starting to lift little by little. And sometimes, you guys, as you're releasing, you can actually start to feel symptoms of this energy leaving. And this can, it's like symptoms of this energy leaving. You can start to feel nauseated. You might start to like get sensations like you want to dry heave or gag. You can start to cough. You can yawn. Sometimes people laugh, and it can be kind of like a progression. Okay. Kind of like a progression. So right now, as I'm allowing this energy to leave, it's almost like I want to, I'm getting sick. Oh, and I believe that happens because this is energy that has been in my energy field for a very long time. And so as I'm allowing myself to really sit with this energy, and as it starts to leave, I'm getting very like physical relax. And my eyes are watering. It's not because I'm crying. It's because, man, this was strong. Oh, wow. Okay, so bringing it back to center, allowing myself to sit with whatever this feeling is. And right now, it's just the feeling that I'm feeling in my body, okay? And this is why a lot of the times it is so important to allow yourself to just sit with whatever's in your body, because your body has a record of everything, okay? Your mind and your subconscious mind does a lot of things to try to shut things out, numb things down, keep things from being able to really pop up into your conscious thinking awareness, but your body knows, okay? And so when these things when these things are coming up in your body to be processed, your mind's completely wanting to shut it down. And so all you can feel is what's going on. You can just kind of feel, I will say it's like a sadness, it's a heaviness, and there's a sadness there. Okay. And sometimes that's what happens. It's like all of a sudden it'll just pop into your head. This is what it is. And I just now identify it. There's a sadness here. Okay. Heavy, heavy, deep, heavy sadness. For whatever reason that goes, I don't know. We'll just leave it there. It's sadness. Okay. So can I just allow myself to feel as sad as I do? And as I'm allowing myself to just sit with this sadness, I am starting to feel it lift. Okay. So basically what's happening is this emotion is processing out of me, rather than, because a lot of the times what we end up doing, and we don't realize this, but this is why distractions are usually, whatever distractions, coping mechanisms, distractions, addictions, a lot of the times those things are subconsciously triggered to keep us from being able to feel whatever it is we're feeling. Okay. To keep whatever is hidden subconsciously, to keep it from being triggered into our conscious awareness, because it's just the way we've programmed ourselves over time. So that's number one, you guys. If you notice that you are distracting yourself, if you notice that you are being triggered to do something as far as a coping mechanism goes or an addiction, refrain from that thing, okay? Because what that thing is doing, what that addiction or that coping mechanism or that distraction is doing, that's your subconscious mind trying to put a lid on whatever's trying to come up, okay? And it's a protective measure, really, but it's just programmed, okay? You have the tools now to work through the waves of emotions, to work through whatever that subconscious feeling, that trigger is going to bring up. You have, thankfully, the tools to process those waves as they're coming up, okay? All that happens when we are employing coping mechanisms, or we are allowing ourselves to be distracted, or we are engaging in addictive behaviors, is we're just letting off a little bit of steam, just enough for that to let off the steam. And it goes back into our conscious, our subconscious awareness. Okay, we didn't actually get rid of it. It is still in our vibe. It's still in our energetic makeup. Okay, so as long as it's in our energetic makeup, so basically, as long as I am distracting myself from feeling this immense sense of sadness, that is still going to remain in my energetic field, meaning I'm manifesting that. I'm manifesting more feelings of sadness, okay? Be it feeling, manifesting more scenarios like I manifested last night, or, even just manifesting all new, whole different experiences, things to feel sad about. Okay. And this is basically what is going on here. It's like these things want to be brought up and out. They want to be processed out, because you, at your being who you are at your core, you're perfect. Your joy, your happiness, your bliss, your love, your all of that stuff. Okay. And all of this other crap is basically almost like an energetic cancer, and you want to heal. Okay. You want to heal. That's why we're being triggered, is so this, that's our way of healing. That's our way of getting it out. Okay. And that's why I've kind of become, I'm not fond of triggers. Okay. I've come to accept situations that trigger me, like last night. Okay. I don't enjoy learning truths about things. And basically all that was just, what was it? What do you want to call it? It was an affirmation. It was a confirmation of things I've already known. Okay. But it triggered something in me that needed to be healed. Yeah. So I'm thankful for the trigger that happened last night, for the incident, and for what was said, because if there wasn't, because there's some things, you guys, okay, so it's hard to explain this. There are some things that people can tell me where I have zero emotional reaction. It doesn't trigger anything, because that trigger has already been dealt with. The fact that I was told something and it triggered something deep within me, that just lets me know that my work regarding that situation is not done yet. And so, and actually what it's bringing up, like I said, it's not really so much, it did bring up a little bit of self-worth issue, a little bit. Like, I don't take things too personally when it comes to that situation anymore. But there's still like a little remnant that came up. Okay. Mostly what it triggered was sadness, because I don't think I really allowed myself to really face the reality that my marriage is over. And my marriage is over because I want it to be. Okay. I'm the one that's like, I can't go back. So there's just a sadness there that I hadn't really let myself feel. And that's what was triggered. So can I allow myself to feel as triggered as sad? I can say triggered. Can I allow myself to feel as triggered as I do? And can I allow myself to feel whatever I'm feeling right now? And what I'm doing right now, the reason why my eyes are closed is because I'm in my body right now. Like, I'm feeling things through here. Okay. When I'm breathing, you guys, I'm breathing in and out through wherever this energy is pent up at. Right now, I'm breathing in and out through here. Okay. So I'm in my body while I'm doing this. I'm not up here. This is why this is how things are able to like come forward, because my mind's shut off. I'm concentrating on being in my body. And the heaviness of it is gone already. But there's still, what's happening now is like, it's just more processing. It's processing out. And what I'm going to end up doing, you guys, because of this, is I'm going to be replacing that with things throughout the day that bring me a sense of joy, that reconnect me with joy, love, encouragement. Because when I release and process something out, I feel like I need to replace it with something. Otherwise, I feel like it leaves a void. And so, I've processed something out. Now I'm going to put something of much greater value back in to basically plug that back up. Okay. Anyway, so see, I'm laughing. I am already reconnecting with the sense of joy. I'm feeling a lot lighter now. As you can see, like, the releasing process, once you become like, it becomes a part of you, it doesn't take very long at all. Like, I really truly do feel like whatever it was that was triggered last night was deeply, deeply embedded. And I can tell that because when I release, you guys, I don't always have a physical, visceral reaction to that energy being processed out of me. Okay. That's how I know that it was something that was deeply embedded, possibly something that has been in my energetic field for a very long time, because of the physical reaction that I got. Okay. Like I said, some signs that releasing is happening is when I was gagging, kind of feeling very nauseated, dry heaving, coughing, all that stuff. That is an indication that you are releasing. Okay. So that's just kind of a little tidbit of information for you. All right, you guys. So that's it for that part of the releasing. What I'm just going to do now is just go find something. I might journal. I might meditate a little bit. If it wasn't snowing outside, I might even get out and exercise. I don't know. I'm going to find something where I'm just going to get my physical body in action. Okay. So yes, that's what I did. That's what I do. I spent some time in my feminine energy, just allowing and accepting and welcoming and sitting with it. now it's like, now I need to take some kind of action, good action, constructive action. So that's the masculine part of me. Okay. So that you can kind of see how that dynamic works. That's how you can kind of, you know, that's a different video. We'll just leave this here because I can talk for days. All right, you guys, thank you for sticking with me. That's why this is all over the place. You know, that's how feelings and stuff can be. It's just, it's not a linear, it's not nice, and it's not always neat. It's not always pretty. Like right now, I was just like, I haven't, you know, gotten ready or anything. I'm like, I just hopped on here all natural, no makeup or anything. Well, I got a little bit of, yeah, but whatever. All right, you guys, I am going to end it here. I love you so much. I will see you again in the next video.